So I bought 4 brand new wheels and tires for the trailer. That is not an exciting purchase. They are silver. I don't know if you can tell that in the video or not, but I needed 4 new tires for the trailer. I figure while I'm at it, I'm just gonna get 4 new wheels as well. Hello there, it's really bright. I can't see. The first thing I gotta do is hook up the trailer and pull it into a better spot for me to swap the new wheels and tires onto it. Before. We're getting there. Old crap there. So I put these on a long time ago, and I do not think I used anti-seize when I put these on. And I only had 1 flat out of the 4 that were put on here. And so I really have only had to remove 1 in a long time. And I'm paying the price for it. Make sure you use anti-seize, guys, all right? Today I am. These look like crap. All right, the after shot. And I also put on a wire wheel on the angle grinder and went over some of the surface rust that was popping up, and then cleaned it and threw a coat of black Rust-Oleum on it. At least most of the trailer. I ended up running out of paint. I didn't know I was going to do that part today, but I figured why not? So I have spent half of my day doing the trailer project instead of being in there. Looks better. Sun is going away right now. Temp is dropping. We have about 24 feet of 2-inch quarter wall DOM. Not expensive. 76 pairs of Heims, and there's more coming. Hey everybody, we have 60 plus degrees in December. I'll take that. I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes on the bouncer build, all right? Kind of like a typical day of things I want to complete, all right? You know, obviously the chassis is done, but you know, I come in here. Where do I go from here? Well, there's a million different things I could do, but I'll tell you what I'm gonna start with. There's my motor mounts, but I need to that was kind of bare minimum to be able to mount my engine, so that way I could, you know, mount my transmission and therefore mount my seat, you know, really early on in the build. But now I need to make these stronger, so, you know, at minimum, I need to run some tubing from here to here, for sure, just to get a lot more weldable surface material. So I need to gusset that with another piece of tube, you know, both sides, and then that takes us to the transmission mount. You know, once again, that was bare minimum to get me going. It's a good starting point, you know, it's just some quarter wall, angle iron, but it needs to be gusseted, you know, and all kinds of stuff added to it to make it strong. Cut some material out to box it there. I think I'm going to throw a piece of small tube on the inside up underneath it. And then that takes me to passenger seat mounting. I don't know how other people go about mounting the seats. I kind of build, each seat has its own separate structure. I think it's pretty strong. And anyway, driver's side is pretty much done. So those are 3 key things I can, you know, set as a task to do today. And before you know it, then I get to do the fun stuff like links. I love it out here. Now we're starting to look stronger, boys. We are building seat mounts, people. All right. Hello there, we have a new day once again, back at it. Anyway, I adjusted the orientation of the studs on the clocking ring of the transfer case. That thing sat, well, it sat perfectly level out of the transmission. That was way too high for my setup. My seat sits pretty low relative of the transfer case position, so I need the driver's side drop portion of that transfer case to be clocked down further. And I really hope I picked the correct location. Otherwise I got to rework it all. So it's a bit of a gamble, but there might be a better scientific way of doing it, but I kind of wung it, and you know, worst case scenario, I have to pull it back out and rework it again, but I can do that, no biggie. All right, current situation. You know, we're throwing the transmission, transfer case, engine back inside the chassis. But it gets dicey, people. It gets dicey. My front axle is just floating there, no links attached at the moment, so I don't have a way to drop my chassis on top of the axle safely right now. Chassis is still floating. As you can see, I have invisible links right there. Rear axle, not attached yet. That's on purpose. I don't want that attached until I determine where my front is. I need to make sure I can clear the engine up at the truss. That's why I'm putting the engine in first, as well as when I wanted to mount my seats. Yeah, so I have this whole process in my head, in order of operation, and that's why I'm doing the way I'm doing it. I basically throw the transfer case, in the engine as far back and low as I possibly can. That'll determine where my front axle goes and where my roof line and seats went. But now is where it's kind of a problem, because I'm putting this heavy engine in there, and I had to remove my chassis stand that was underneath the front frame rails. So it gets complex, and the weight distribution is going to be super off. An easy way to fix that is if I linked the rear, and then you could just ratchet strap or temporarily weld a bar to keep the chassis attached down low. But I don't want to link the rear because I have a specific wheelbase in mind, so I don't want to permanently set that until the front is done. Front's done, then I'm going to push my rear back to my liking. All right, I'm going to keep trucking along. So I decided to cut the upper link mounts off of the front truss. It just wasn't going to work for me. I mean, I could have forced it to work and it would have hurt up travel, but anyway, wasn't sure if I'd have to do it, but I am. So, it sucks. It was actually nice and gusseted. The previous owners of this axle, they did a pretty good job making it strong, but it's got to come off, and I got to make everything smooth again, start over. Well, that was just terrible. One of the worst things about fabrication is removing existing work. Clean slate. Although I totally am going to cut off those old limit strap tabs. They will not work for my application. Okay, I'm going inside. The amount that I clocked the Atlas transfer case worked out perfect. So that was nice. I had one more clocking point I could have gone, and I think it would have been too much. So that worked out nice. Got lucky a little bit there. I mean, I used my best judgment, but still, we'll call a little bit of luck involved there.